Okay, so I'm going to be doing a VOD review for Trilofos, I'm like not too sure how to say it. Not that important. You play mostly Hog and Diva this map and a little bit of Sig at the end, and you note that your backline's getting farmed by the Tracer and Widow, and yeah, I have to agree. And this is kind of, I say, the problem with ranked. Sometimes, unless you're significantly better than the lobby, um, a lot of games you'll just lose, right? So like you say this is a Plat1 lobby, right? Let's say maybe you're like a Diamond 4 tank on a good day, or Diamond 3, whatever rank you want to describe yourself to. It's not that important. If your team's just worse, sometimes you'll lose, right? If you're only a little bit better, um, than the lobby. Actually, I have a video on this channel if you want to look at it. It's my first placement in a while. It was me, if you want to be a pedantic, a former top 500 player. But I could probably pretty easily get there again if I just played more. Unfortunately, I've been doing a lot of VODs in the time I would otherwise be playing. But that's besides the point, right? I think my team that game was probably roughly as good as your team. I think my point is they were worse. And at the end of the game, right, I was 33-1, I think, and the next best person in the entire lobby was my teammate at like 20-15, right? And this was an 11-minute game, right, or something like that, right? But the difference is I was just putting in so much difference that the entire enemy team was like negative, right? So I was just like that much more effective on the front line, that much more often. This isn't meant to be a flex. It's just to show you that some games, unless you're like so much better than the lobby, you're just gonna lose, right? Because your team's bad or whatever, and there's only so much you can do, right? You're only 20% of a team, so some games you just have to say, right, I'm not gonna win everything, right? Unless you're like hard smurfing. Like I think, yeah, don't take every loss so seriously, right? I say it's. You also mentioned here that you're tilted. Try not to play when you're tilted. Obviously, you make more mistakes, and you'll get in the mindset of trying to like rush the game because you're at a lower rank than where you can perform otherwise, right? So you'll just be doing like riskier and like stupider plays, right, for no reason, and you'll start losing more because of that, right? It's a really nasty cycle to get yourself into, right? So regardless, right, I think there are a lot of things that you could have done differently this game to make the game closer and potentially won, right? This is a pretty close game despite the fact that your backline gets farmed pretty much all game. And those things are your positioning could be a lot better, right? And when I say it's always easy to show this like a case by case examples, right? But in my opinion, you're often way too far forward, right? The problem with playing too far forward, especially on a tank like Hog, is that you bait your entire team to take angles to support you, right? So, for example, on defense, actually, let me skip forward and hopefully I'll show this. Hopefully, okay.
Ready for
A little longer than I hoped. Okay, I apologize for the delay. I'm not exactly sure where you are. Okay, you're dead already. Okay, by playing up here, right? You're not here literally right now. You fell down, but you were here. I'm not going to keep going around. You were here a second ago. You bait your entire team to have to peek this angle to support you, right? And this opens themselves up to get headshot by the Widow, right? Your Zen's actually wisely playing this angle, but someone also has to play this angle to help you shoot lower, right? Because if you play here, they can shoot you from main. They can come up here. They can shoot you down here, from down here, right? They can come over here and shoot you, and your team can't see them at all, right? And your team has to help you pressure main, so they can't just come all the way over here and shoot you from the back. So you're just having to worry about too many angles by playing up here, right? But if you play, for example, up here, and you'll see pretty much everyone at high levels on Hog do this, right? Hog, if you play too close, you just get rushed and explode. So you're pretty much stuck playing up here. It really depends on the comp, but like especially against this comp, like if you play lower, you'll just die. That's beside the point, right? You have the same amount of your team doesn't have to peek wide main. They can support you from up here without even peeking the Widow, right? and they can play here, they can play all the way back here, for example, right? They have a lot of options because the enemy team is forced to take this choke to peek you guys, right? When you have the defensive advantage, you kind of want to use it. It's the same concept even on offense. You want to limit the amount of places you can get shot and maximize the amount of angles you have on the enemy team. This is very important, especially on like Hog and Sigma. If you just like 5-stack main with a Hog or Sig, you're pretty much trolling, right? It's partially on your team to know not to do that, but it's partially on you, right? If you see everyone on your team sticking this, like getting forced in the same angle, like try your best to position in a way where that's not the case, right? Cover usage, this is more straightforward. You're just taking a lot of unnecessary damage. I'll mention it a few times in this replay, but yeah, it's pretty straightforward, right? Especially very important on Hog because you have no shields, no armor. So every time you take damage, you're forcing your supports to heal you or forcing out your breather for kind of no reason, right? If you're not actively getting good trades, which generally means like blowing up a tank point blank or getting a hook on someone, right? And pulling them behind cover to get the kill, you probably shouldn't be wide peeking. And I guess part of this thing is patience, right? Again, you mentioned you're tilted, and that's probably part of the reason why you're playing impatiently. Excuse me. I feel like you rush your hooks and you're just blowing your cooldowns on Diva a lot for no reason, when you can just literally be waiting half a second longer to see what people are gonna do and then using your cooldowns. I'll show examples of this as well. Okay, so starting out here, I pretty much always just walk main as Hog. This is a very awkward angle, and no one at higher ranks is ever going to be set up like where these people are standing right now. But the problem with coming up here, right, is that your team doesn't want to be sitting main with the cart. Yeah, this is more stuff you probably don't really have to worry about. But when you peek this angle, you get shot by all the people above, and you really won't be able to like do anything anyways, right? Your team can't swing the corner yet, but since they're all up here, I don't think it's like the end of the world, right? You don't know what they're on, obviously. Problem. If they're on Ana and they sleep you, when you turn that corner, you could like instantly die. Don't worry about it too much. But the problem is you take all this unnecessary damage, right? It's okay because you can play cover, but the problem is you take all this damage, right? And you keep peeking them. But really what you should be doing is after you take the damage, fall down behind the cart and start healing yourself or wait for your supports to go, right? I think if you did what I said and go behind the cart so your supports can heal you, right? And you went for that play, that's perfectly fine because their backline isn't super good at punishing you, right? Ramatra doesn't do a whole lot of DPS. Tracer doesn't as well. They really just like have to shoot you 5 players at the same time to punish you, so you can afford to do stuff like that, right? Here, you're LOSing your supports, right? And since you go all the way over here, I have a feeling, yeah, see how they're swinging wide to help you? And this is putting them in LOS of the Widow. If she was still here, I guess she's going for a jump shot, right? But if you're playing here, right, there's no reason for them to be peeking this wide. So you always have to consider where your teammates have to swing to heal you and stuff like that. You can get away with it sometimes in Hog because you have breather to self-sustain yourself, and you have to sometimes. Now isn't the time, right? You're half HP, and you wasted a lot of breather getting this position, right? Poked out. And yeah, I'm sure you can see. Now you're just too close. 2 people on your team are dead, just got it back. Don't even peek, right? You're peeking this way too wide. One, you should have known they're going to hard push you, so you just keep backing up. If you kept backing up, right, you know that they're down a lot of players. Don't look main. See, you should be looking to keep backing, right, and see if anyone overextends right now. Right, you're just peeking this so wide and not taking it slow. This is kind of like a patience thing, right? If you're taking it slow and just playing your corners, right, you would have noticed this Tracer's overextended and potentially gotten the hooked one shot on her, right? Then turn the fight. Hooking the Ramatra doesn't do anything there. He's just not going to die with all of his team alive. Okay, you're seeing points with you. Again, patience thing, right? No reason to rush this. This Widow's been giving you trouble. I'd honestly try to hook the Widow. She's a much easier target than the Juno. And she's basically guaranteed one shot because she only has 200 HP. But you're still putting pressure on them, right? Still force her away. It's okay. Here, right? Consider the angle. You're LOSing your Juno. She shouldn't be this far forward in the first place, but that's okay. You're LOSing your Juno by going behind the shield. And again, if your Juno wants to heal you, she has to swing all the way out here to bypass the shield. But even if the shield wasn't here, right, she'd have to swing all the way out here, and then Widow's LOS, right? If you see there at this corner, literally just walk here. Look how powerful this is for you, right? This is like what I said at the beginning of the game. Now the only person that can shoot you is a Ramatra, right? So you can only take damage from one source, but he's in the middle of your entire team, right? Even if their positioning was better, they'd probably be like along this line right here. Just imagine that. Not that important, but even here, see, if you like shoot him in the back and hook him here, now you're just wasting time from his Juno, so the Juno has to peek even wider, and your team can just blow him up, right? And this is kind of this is like a good opportunity for you just to walk and like pull him away from his shield or just shoot him from the back, right? Open up the angle for your team. Basically what I'm trying to say. Here, like even if you did what I said, your team maybe just would have all died anyways. But at the very least, you may have been able to trade out the Ramatra and be at pretty much full HP, right? Because you're behind cover, no one else besides the Ramatra can shoot you. You can seal off all the damage. It's okay. Yeah, this is perfectly fine. Best thing you could have done there, so it's perfectly okay. Skipping forward a little, right? Don't need to see just AFK and spawn. Not to say you're AFK, but you can't do anything because you're respawning anyway, so. Yeah, no need to rush that. She's so close to cover and the angle's so shallow. Probably not going to hit that no matter how good you are. Again, really rush hook, right? You should have just taken like a half second longer to see, okay, the shield's there. Don't even bother hooking, right? Your team actually got the Widow pick, and she's been the most obnoxious person to your progress. So pretty much you can just do the exact same thing I told you to do earlier, right? Especially when you're too close to Hog, right? You're making the reactions on yourself harder, right? Imagine if you're here, right? I mean, this isn't perfect. You can be here. This is even better. You have way more time to react to see what their movement's going to be, right? Just getting too close to this Hog, and you're making it too like hard on yourself, right? It's fine, right? Get him off the map. So small thing on Hog, right? If they're not in a corner, stop shooting them with your ult. Unless they're very low. This guy's half health. All you're doing is making it harder for your cast to shoot him. Right? So. Yep, going forward here is perfectly good. One small optimization, don't look where you're going. You should get more comfortable with traversing the map backwards. Because now, right, imagine if you're already looking at this angle, if the Widow over peaks, she just dies right now, and you're just limiting her time of being able to peek your team, right? You can actually hook the Lucio there, but trying to hook the Widow is okay. Understand. She's an easier target, so. There, you should have seen that the Widow was going up. Can't actually do a bit better there. Follow up. This is fine though. Here, no reason to hook tanks in their point blank unless they're killable, right? They should be in principle really easy to shoot. If you want to keep shooting them, right? I know you want to get through his block. You can hook him, but he's probably not going to die anyways, right? And you don't shoot him anyways. If you want to just get rid of him, don't even look at him, right? Just literally walk by him and shoot the Widow. But you could have kept shooting him and then hooked him when he was like 100 HP just to one shot, right? I feel like this is a mistake a lot of Hog players run into. You don't want to hook tanks at point blank when they aren't like one shotable, right? Or you need a block in the corner cooldown. Because they're just so easy to hit. Like basically the only time you hook at point blank is if you're just missing everything, unfortunately. It happens sometimes, right? Or you want to block important cooldowns or like deny important cooldowns, right? So they're guaranteed to die. For like example, like if you know Winston has jump, for example, I'll just go over this really quickly. If you know Winston's about to have jump, shoot him, and when he's about to jump away, then you hook him to cancel his jump, or when D.Va's about to fly away, stuff like that. But when they're already point blank, or if like a Maul gets point blank and he's using his overdrive, whatever it's called, you can hook him just to stall even like a second from it, right? And that buys you a lot of time. But like 90% of the time, you just don't want to just randomly hook point blank, right? So it's perfectly fine. Here, you should have seen the Lucio was shooting you from above and try to go for a hook on him. Here, I like that you're taking an off angle, but the problem is, right, you're going too early. Your team is still main, and what they have to do is come here, right? Sorry, the replay sensitivity is very odd. So they can shoot their Ramatra without exposing themselves to the Widow. Whether they do it or not is a different story. They may not, but you should be looking back to see if your team's ready to peak anyways, right? Because now you're just going too early, because you got to wait for your entire team to respawn. Even if they just bot main, they can't help you yet. This is very dangerous because the enemy team can help the Ramatra. Here, you should know this guy has shield, right? No reason, again, even like fundamentally, don't hook tanks at point blank. He has no nemesis form, so he can't block damage without shield anyways, right? So it's okay, you get the kill. You should have waited a bit to get healed up too. A little bit of impatience, but I definitely would not have expected a Widow to be there, so it's okay. It's good. See, you take a second longer to line up the shot, easy kill on Lucio. And these people do not have particularly good movement, so like you have no reason to like rush anything. Pretty much at any rank, but especially here, like people are just gonna make it easy on you a lot. So I wouldn't have chucked the trap up there, not the end of the world though. Right now, I'd be trying to hook this Tracer. They have to wait for their spawners. You know, you just killed their Lucio. And I don't like group respawn, but that's beside the point. They have to wait, or I'm sorry, the tank has to wait for the rest of his team to walk forward anyways. So by the time they walk out, you'll have another hook even if you miss the Tracer, right? Here, I don't like this ult because your Zen popped his Transcendence and you already killed 3. No reason to. You can just walk into this guy and keep shooting him, right? Or even ideally, you know, this Widow's been giving you a ton of trouble all game. Look how bad her positioning would be if you just literally stood right here, right? Or you just, I should say, just continuously watching this angle so she can't peek. The Ramatra's not going to kill anything in Transcendence, right? So just ignore him and try to kill the Widow. And if you can't kill the Widow, you know, miss your hook or something. You just turn around and kill this guy afterwards. So you can see, if you were looking at this Widow, unfortunately, it breaks at that angle, unfortunately. But if you were watching this Widow, she would never have been able to do that, right? You can, honestly, if you really need to, just save your hook. See if she wide peeks. And I was thinking maybe this Widow is smurfing because she's farming your backline, but her positioning is really bad, so I don't think so. I didn't bother watching her POV at some point. That's good patience, you know. You missed. You don't. No one hits everything. Cover usage problem, right? You just jumped. I've been seeing this a lot, and I haven't mentioned it. I'm not bringing up cover usage a whole lot because it's kind of self-explanatory, in my opinion. Maybe I should go a bit more in depth, but like when you jump in front of everyone, you just landed like literally right here. Like how much are you exposing yourself to people, right? I mean, the thing is, cover usage and positioning kind of go hand in hand a lot of times, but like just don't. You pretty much never want to do that, right? If you don't know where they are, don't like wide swing corners like that and just jump. Here, kind of making this mistake all game, right? You're just kind of walking. Just if you see this Lucio do this, literally just if you need to, literally just stand still, shoot them as much and as well as you can, right? You're not in danger of dying. So you're just letting these people like kind of troll going behind you, right? But if you just literally shot him, you got a really good shot off on him once. You should have just turned around and kept shooting him, right? He's trolling. He just ran into your backline like 1v4. And what are you gonna do now, right? Maybe get the Ana, but she's too safe. And like you're not gonna kill the Orisa when she has the Ana alive, right? I'm sure you can see how bad that looks. And repeat, right? Same thing, if this Ana just wide peeked the corner and naded you, you would have died here, by the way. It's fine. Don't walk here, Ana has both her cooldowns. If you get naded, you probably die. It's fine to chase her here, she used it on herself. She missed you, maybe. Here again. I think I remember you do it. No need to, right? She's already 100 HP. If you just shoot her, she'll die. And the thing is, this is why you don't want to hook tanks at point blank, right? If you see she's already so weak and you just kill her without you using your hook, now you just hook the Lucio and continue like pressuring, right? If you miss the Lucio, no problem, because like you're not gonna miss this kill in the reset anyways. Now the problem is, right? You're chasing too hard because your entire team's dead. It's just you and the cast. Right now you see. Sure, you kill like the tank and the Ana, but they have spawn advantage. So just continuing to chase there is not good.
Thank you kindly.
Skip forward just a bit here. A little too far. Let's say sometimes Hog, you can just look at the recent beta cooldowns. Imagine. Yeah, that was a tough time. Your cover usage thing, right? You just ran in front of the thing. Hard for kind of no reason. And when I say it seems like a small detail, but at higher ranks you'll absolutely like blown up. Just slight changes in pathing are very important. I'll demonstrate what I would have done, right? Once the Widow grapples away, you can't do anything, right? You can't do anything to her anymore. Literally just walk this way, right? You want to keep chasing her or chase the Lucio, right? Go this way, and now look. Your angle's pretty good. You have good cover here, and you can shoot the Lucio. You can keep shooting the Widow, whatever. You can shoot the Ana. You have a lot of options, right? But just kind of like going forward in cart. You're just not getting shot at all. It happens sometimes. That's a decent bomb from your Ashe. So kind of get away with it. You could have kept peeking out wider to the left to get that. It's okay. Here, don't do this. If she has, she has all of her cooldowns. Right, so if she has spin, like, you're never going to kill her. Especially because the Ana also has both her cooldowns, so pretty much just did nothing. When you use Hog ult, you pretty much have to bait out like all their cooldowns or hook people in a small room, which doesn't do anything. It's good. Oh, it's fine. Could have been a little cleaner. That's alright. The end of the world.
30 seconds.
Yep, I mean, last fight could have been a little cleaner. I don't really think it's worth obsessing over. Here, I'm sure you see the problem after I talked about it at the beginning of the game with holding here. I will say sometimes against some comps you can hold down here and just stall cart forever. That's kind of rare on Hog because you're just kind of frail. So you can't like do anything to the Widow anyways, right? No need to like hook this guy, especially like if you bring him to high ground. I'm sure you see the problem now. If you want to hook him, just hook him, shoot him, and like drop him down here so you do some damage. But I'd be looking for a hook on his backline. If I was just teleported in your position, because this is a problem. Olga just like kind of dumpsters on you stat wise. If he has any support, if he really wants to, like in a 1v1, he can literally just run in on you, like charge in, activate overdrive, and just kill you. So you never want to take a 1v1 on that way. This is obviously a positional issue. Just don't play that far forward. You know, you don't know what they're using. It's way better to hold on top of the gas station, at least for default, right? I think swapping D.Va is fine against Maga. I think Sig is better, but D.Va definitely can work here. Sig is also better against Widow than D.Va in my opinion, because you can just spam her more consistently and shield off her angles, right? Here, I wouldn't even be committing this early because you died kind of first, and then the rest of your team died, right? So if you're just more patient here, this is like a really problem of D.Va, right? D.Va, your neutral isn't like that good, and you're more prone to being impatient because you have movement, right? On Hog, you don't have a choice. I think I highlighted some moments where you're too impatient, right? You kept trying to press your advantage even though you didn't have an advantage. It's more of a problem on D.Va because her neutral, like you can't just walk forward and get a hook and turn a fight. I mean, sometimes you can just boost her into people and like blow them up, and that's obviously a way to turn fights, but you have to commit yourself to do that. Generally speaking, so just wait for your team to regroup. You know, try to help your people stay alive is what I'm trying to say, because you at least have the option on D.Va to peel. This is a good kill. Here, right, patience, just wait for your team to heal you. Your Juno's right here. Right, so just literally wait a second. And if this Maga charges in, what's he gonna do to you, right? You have pretty much full matrix. Okay, so again, more patience here. You're already point blank against the Diva. This is kind of the same, I mean, point blank against the whatever, Widow. Same problem you had on Roadhog, but instead of hook, you're like paying for it with boosters, right? When you boosters, now you can't do anything for 4 seconds, and you're kind of like stationary more or less, right? Same thing when like if they're already point blank, they're already in their effective range, right? And the problem is when you don't know what cooldowns they have, they just grapple away, even though you didn't have to commit boosters in the first place to get to her, right? Maybe you did and you just walked into. It's not that important, but the problem is you were already here against the Widow, and she does not want to be here against you, right? Just literally shoot her, and if she doesn't have grapple, she dies anyways, and if she grapples away, then you don't waste boosters. So now you're just like kind of in the middle of like their team, and because you chose to go in on the Widow and burn your boosters, now you can't help your Juno come in, and the Maga just kind of stomps her, right? Figuratively and literally. And this guy cannot do this against her comp. You can see, like, he gets hard punished for there, right? I promise you, in like Plat Diamond, people are just gonna do random stuff like this all the time. You can just matrix this entire shout if he uses it for no reason like that, and just like blow him up afterwards, right? No reason to rush these things. And I will add, like, what's the Widow even gonna do to your team right now, anyways, right? Like, your entire team peeks from lower. They have cover this way, and they have cover this way, right? She has to like use position all the way at the back of the map, or like up here, where she doesn't have the best angles in your team in the first place, to even like hope to get picks, right? I mean, you just can't always be on the Widow. Again, already point blank, no reason to boost her into her. You don't really pay for it here, but I imagine in other games you pay for it more. Or in other scenarios, you pay for it more. Like, actually, perfect example, like, just like 10 seconds ago, you paid for it. You should have paid for it more, you just got really weak and you're gonna die. Here, right, positionally, at the end of the fight, just set up high ground. Like 99% of the time, especially on Diva, your boosters are so short cooldowns. Like if you just booster up here, land up here, see where they're going, right, in position, and then like rotate to see, wait for someone to be overextended, right? Maybe their Widow like grapples here for some reason. You can booster on her and kill her immediately and set up on an off angle if she goes too early. You know, you have options, but like sitting on low ground is just not the play here. Pretty much as anything. Especially as Diva, because you can just fly away so early. I also noticed you have a tendency to like go on these health packs. It's like you're supposed to. The vast majority of the time. I will say if you're high ground, this wouldn't happen. It's a good bomb, right? He doesn't have an answer to it, so. It's a good chase. Here, I'd keep looking to go in. I think it's okay that you're looking to see what your team's going on, but if you notice the Tracer just died, so not the end of the world. You maybe could have kept chasing that Lucio a bit harder. That's okay though. It's okay to use missiles here. Just fly out back to the top of the gas station. Here, you don't want to bait your team forward again. Remember, they have to go more forward. Okay, this is fine. Here, no reason to fly, right? No one's committed to this angle. And you just let these people come in for free. And this is a recurring problem you have on Diva, right? This happens on last too. There is literally, this should never work. No matter what tank you're on, right? If they just decide to do this and you just sit here in Matrix, like they were already going before you were flying away. Like, let me show you from their POV. I went a little too far back, actually. That's okay, I'll show you again. Just see how silly this looks from them. See, the Diva's already flying in. It's hard to catch, but the Diva's already flying in when you were standing right here. I mean, kind of guess you go at the exact same time. But if you literally just stood here, did nothing, and waited for them to peek you, right? And just matrix your supports, like what are they, like they just come in. This is the best case scenario for this Tracer. The Diva matrixes her, and nothing happens, right? And now there's a Tracer in the middle of your entire team with the Diva, and the Diva has no matrix, right? So just like patience thing, don't, it's positional and patience thing, right? If you just peeling, like just waiting to see what they commit to and like punish them accordingly, your team would have lost. At least it's good you get to trade, but I'm sure you can see just by holding with your team, like you're on defense, you have to wait there. Like the imperative is on them for them to make a play. Right? Yeah, you can't really do anything here. You should just play with the team. Big macro mistake there. At the very least, you did get the trade, so good mechanics there, I suppose.
60 seconds remaining.
I would say you might have been able to full hold this if you just sat on the top of gas station and waited for them to troll. Guys, a little too far forward. Let me go a little further back. Maybe your team's staggering a bit. Unfortunate. It happens sometimes. I don't know why they're so far forward without you. It's basically unreactable. You didn't have your boosters anyways. Here, no reason to be taking all the spam, right? Play with your supports. You're just like using your boosters to go for these health packs when you can just play with your team, right? And this is the same premise on Hog as D.Va. You always want to be in a position where you can set up an angle from your team, but not so far away that you can't get like support them, right? Like, you know, this isn't the best thing to do on Hog, but you can set up here, hook them. Hog it's very important because he's more so a poke tank and he needs angles, or because he can't tank. Like D.Va has Matrix. It's not ideal to like burn all your Matrix just to hold W, but you can do it. Hog, if you do the same thing, you're just gonna get like slepnated, discord, and explode. D.Va, you can at least sometimes get away with it. But Hog has the power of the 20-meter hook, right? And you can pull people away from your team or like get picks with the D.Vas committing on your backline. You have options, but like doing all this, you burn your boosters, so you can't commit on anyone, nor can you peel for your team, right? So like you have to keep in mind the effective range of your tank, and like that should indicate your position, like what cooldowns you have and what their effective range is. I will notice like people don't really have a good grasp. Everyone thinks like Hog's a brawl tank, and that's why he's not a brawl tank. One, he can't face tank a ton of damage, and two, he needs the off angle, right? And he has like the 20-meter hook, and he's also dangerous to push into point blank because he has the shotgun, right? So he's very good at taking off angles from his team. But D.Va not so much because you don't have the range, right, on your shotguns, and you have to commit boosters, which is your escape ability at the same time, and you can peel for your team like consistently with your Matrix, right? So I think this is okay. One thing you can do is Matrix the tire, right? So it's an easier engage. If you're like peeking a bit more and seeing where he was, you could have Matrix the tire like as he came here, and he could just drop on the anion. You could fly in with it, honestly. If you Matrix the whole thing and just blow up the anion, you probably win the fight. I guess someone shoots it, right? No reason to be dropping on this D.Va. Like it does literally nothing. If she flies up here, just let her fly up there for no reason. I don't even think she flew. And just you literally just sit here. Like you don't have to do anything, right? Just wait for someone to overextend. You're just like going in too much, right? No patience. Just wait for them to make a move, right? No reason to be like wasting all these resources in the tank trade that don't accomplish anything. Again, because you burn your boosters, right? Sure, you get the whatever, Lucio, but you just let them come in on your backline. It's fine. One thing I'll say against Baby D.Va, right? If you don't have, because she's kind of hard to hit, I get it sometimes. Just hold your Matrix and wait for your missiles and just shoot them forward with your missiles, right? You get the pick. I think later in the game you miss a lot, so I'll bring that up for that reason. You could have actually, no reason to run back to your team. You could have continued to sit up here, right? Because you're LOSing both the DPS that are on lower. You obviously don't know that Lucio's coming here, right? But you can Matrix a Lucio, right? You can sit here, Matrix a Lucio so you can't get demech. Just get healed up by the Zen Orb a bit, and then fly down here, get the Mega, because you have remech bomb, right? So you're not really in danger of dying as long as you play decently well. What? What? What happened to your ult? Okay, so yeah, you should have just ulted there. I don't think you realized you had ult. This is kind of a good throw on your part. Unfortunate. Really, like, literally, you should have Did what I say, just play patient, high ground, right? Don't make any moves. Wait to get healed up by the Zen a little, and then remake bomb if you have to. Yeah, I'm sure you see that's a really like silly looking mistake in retrospect. So
Reset and regroup.
I don't think you can recontest here, unfortunately. Too far away. So here, I would have prioritized matrixing your dude, your Juno. Yeah, kind of boosting for no reason. Like, you don't know, just walk. If you don't know where people are, just walk, right? You don't know who this tracer is, you don't know where the team is, just walk. Then, like, you just waste boosters again here, booster into the tank, and get all your stuff in Matrix, right? Just kind of, like, uselessly throwing cooldowns at the enemy tank, and granted, they are too, but you want to be better. You see, you're focusing so much on this enemy tank, right? And you're wasting all these resources on the enemy tank, that this allows the tracer to run in. I mean, partially, right? I don't think she knows that's the case. But really, again, patience, right? Just see what they're going to do and punish them for it, right? I will say here, right? You see the D.Va flying in? You should see what she's flying into, because the only reason she's going to be flying in is if she thinks she sees an opening. And you could be matrixing your teammates down, right? You can't kill her, which is the important thing. She's so healthy, you can't trade her out. So you should really, like, look to see what she's looking at, right? This goes for every tank, but especially on D.Va. This is such an easy time healing. Kind of mess up the fly a bit, right? Too close. Don't do this. Don't peek this early. 2 teammates just died. One of them was your main healer. So just gotta wait. Same thing. Remember on first, when you're on Hog, and they were just the tracer fed into your spawn, right? You had the opportunity to hook and kill her and turn the fight. Now is the time when you're down players to wait for people to overextend to see if you can trade them out, not fly another team. And now, because like you aggress too early, it seems like really stupid. But because you were playing too aggressively and forcing out resources from your support, right, to keep you up, she wasn't able to heal the Mei, and now it's like a cascade effect, right? Now everything's going wrong because you did that one bad thing. You just didn't wait. I maybe would have chucked the bomb up in the air. It's okay. Unfortunate time to reload. Again, there are other things you could have done better that fight, but I'm sure you see the primary issue is that you just were peeking at the wrong time.
Ready for battle.
So going forward just a bit here. Into the action.
Ready for
Okay, apparently I can't add.
escort the payload.
I'm sure you see now the problem with coming this way. Even if you hook not the D.Va, one, the D.Va is probably not going to die here, and two, if you hook anyone that's not the D.Va, they're just going to convince the Matrix, right? I would have given up on this angle a lot sooner. And you also don't give your supports LOS. Good kill. I would have hooked there too. Just 'cause I wouldn't have trusted the gun to kill her. This is fine. Again, right? You should have known the Ashes up there. You literally saw her up there when you walked up there earlier, right? You didn't see her coach gun away. You're playing like too close, right? Just give yourself a wide angle, so you can see like hook targets, right? Same thing, right? If you're just like here, for example, you're further away from the D.Va, so she can't do much damage to you. And now she also can't matrix your hooks, right? That's important because you can hook either the Mercy or the Ashe here. Just taking the wider angles Hog, I think will really help you. Again, cover usage thing here too. You're just in the open. You don't know where they are. So yeah, don't do that. If you don't know where everyone is, don't play in the open. I say like the only time you play in the open is if you know you can't get punished. They don't have like low damage or something. Or they don't have LSD or something like that. But I'm sure seeing, like if we go a little bit further back, like you're making the mistakes of playing a little too close, right? And making these shots harder on yourself. And not playing the Hog's like strengths as a character that has actual range when you hook, right? And you should have forgotten the Ashes up there too. Admittedly, but if you're playing here and you got the Ashe pick here, the Mercy can't res it, right? And you'd be more HP to push. So now, like, because you weren't playing cover and you weren't taking the appropriate angle, you just pay for it by not getting the Ashe pick and not denying the res, right? Because obviously now you can't deny this res, unfortunately. And the Ashe wouldn't be able to kill your soldier. If you were just playing that slightly better position, that's why positioning is so important on Hog. Like, a lot of, like, micro decisions are incredibly important. Unfortunately, like, this fight isn't Mr. Ashe, so that's why I'm not talking too much about the fight. So, it's alright. I think unfortunately you carried the offense, but you just didn't carry hard enough. It happens sometimes. You swap the Sig here. You make the same mistake of setting up top here. I think it's a little better on Sig, because you at least have shield, right? But like, you see, you can't really control that close angle very well. Here, right, I'd honestly just be looking to rotate lower, stop cart, buy your team as much time as possible, to get picks or something, or like, you know, because you can stall cart here and slowly back up this way, right? Because the final fight's here anyway, so like if you die, it's game over anyway, so you might as well take like the most powerful position. You ton of spam here, that's okay. You can more consistently fight cart from here, so no need to do this, right? You're pretty healthy. You still have full shield. Slightly better mechanics would have killed the dude, right? Again, you're just kind of backing up for no reason. Really, you should try to stuff them in the corner for as long as possible, because it also gives your team better angles, right? Your team can like shoot from all these different places and like stop them from walking forward. But now, the closer you get, now your supports are like, you see, they're taking a much worse angle than otherwise if you're just holding the corner, where they can choose to play here or play here. Or play like over here, for example, right? You know, they have options, but here, now their only option is basically just throw themselves on the floor and heal you so you don't die. Right, keeping your supports LOS in mind is very important. You should be the one, again, don't go for pack, right? You have to be the one contesting card here, because you're the tank, good choice. Good DMAC. I think this is okay, because they're going to be spamming the angle, and especially D.Va, right? You just want to deny her as much ult charge as possible. I should have been paying more attention to your shield usage. Probably shouldn't have been that well to begin with. Slightly better mechanics, you could have killed the Zen. Slightly better mechanics, you could have killed the Baby D.Va. Here, I would have been ignoring the Baby D.Va. Shoot the Lucy on point, right? I would maybe add, you should stop looking at the tank so much. I know it's only Baby D.Va and you're like trying to hit, but she can be difficult to hit sometimes until I bring it up. Right? I think she farmed your team. I don't think she shot you much. Unfortunately, she farmed your team. Unfortunately there, I think this fight just kind of had to kill the people when you got the D.Va pick. Your mechanics in this instance kind of let you down. It's not the end of the world. I don't think you made any like super egregious errors except backing up off the corner, right? The big mistake you made at this fight is giving up the corner here, because you can still from here, right? Just literally stand here. You know, your Juno can see you for free. Your Ana, I don't know why she's so far back. Okay, if she was playing a bit better, she'd be able to. But she can't heal you if you play here anyways, right? Like, you have to peek all the way out here in the first place for it to heal you, right? So that's not a good look. You can't do that forever because you have to stall card. And you can still ricochet stuff off of this to shoot their Zen, or like spam stuff off of here and shoot the Zen pretty easily, right? You have options. Your main mistake here was just giving up this corner too easily and giving like the D.Va and the DPS support, right? Then of course, you know, went over some like mistakes. And unfortunately, I think your mechanics have let you down this fight, but that's not the end of the world. I'd rather you be making the best decisions possible and then lose because your mechanics aren't quite there yet, right? That's something that can easily improve over time. But the problem is you can't just wake up and actively like say you want to position, like, you know, like with positioning, you can always be looking back at your team and saying, okay, where are they set up? Okay, I have to set up over there, over some place based on their positioning, right? You can actively make that like change right away, but you can't fix mechanics right away, right? So again, I'll reiterate, positional wise, right? You always have to be thinking where your team can help you, what angles you're forcing your team to take, and like how vulnerable you are to like getting insta-killed, right? Again, like Hog, if they're on, for example, like I don't know, some like uh, Reinhardt, like Genji, Tracer, Lucio Mercy comp, like some garbage, right? You can play this corner and stall the card for a while. But if they're like, I'm sure you can match like Anazen, Malga, Reaper, um, Echo, and you play this corner, they're literally just gonna like run into you and insta kill you, even if you have a Kiriko, right? So obviously your positioning will change based on your comp and the enemy comp, but fundamentally, I think first and foremost you should work on right positioning so your team doesn't have to like take horrible angles to support you, and positioning in a way so you can support your team as best as possible, right? It's going to look different on every tank. I gave you a few examples like it's Hog, it's Sigma, and it's D.Va, so I hope those help. Again, cover usage, super important in Hog. I don't know if you're a Hog player first and foremost, I'd imagine, because you locked Hog out of spawn. Yeah, since you don't have shields, right, you don't have a barrier, I should say, no armor, no real eat ability. You can't just take random spam. If you don't have Hook, you really got to play conservatively most of the time. It's kind of that simple. Obviously, there are exceptions to that. If someone's overextended, you can just run into him with a shotgun sometimes and get him. Like that Lucio, if you remember, he just kind of ran in. You shot him once, and you should have just kept chasing the kill. That's a good example. We don't need to like really peek them, right? Oh, I'll add positional wise, right? Especially on Hog and Sig, force angles, right, where you minimize the amount of damage. This goes for every tank, but especially them. Minimize angles where the opponents can shoot you, but you give your team the most amount of angles possible, right? And again, the patience thing, right? You really gotta slow down sometimes and stop. I think burning your cooldowns when you could just wait to see what's going on, right? And make decisions based on that, right? Either just getting a better hook lineup or just getting a better dive target as D.Va, right? So I hope this helps.